Welcome to Revenza Tales, where tales of betrayal and brutal comebacks set your soul ablaze. Smash subscribe, ring the bell, and share with friends who struggle for their truth. What do you get when your family writes you out of their narrative, after you've constructed their aspirations? I'm Harmony Whitaker, 35, residing in a rental cottage on Maine's rugged coast, where salt and pine fragrance the air. I'm a non-profit project manager championing sustainable fisheries, working late at night to balance the numbers and keep the harbor alive. I don't do drama. I never have, yet I deliver results. Raised in Boston, I corralled crazy family Thanksgivings, paid bills when my parents didn't, bailed out my little brother Evan from every scrape. I had come to Maine 5 years ago to live more quietly, envisioning a cafe where townspeople shared tales over coffee and lobster rolls. But family keeps tugging you back however far away you flee. It was a cold morning, my laptop screened to an unpaid bill of $12,500. My deposit on a cliffside mansion outside Bar Harbor, which I rented for Evan's wedding to Riley Thornton, golden boy of a local real estate family. My tea grew cold, steam dissipated when my phone vibrated. A text from Mom's number, signed by her and Dad. "Hey sweetie, we think it's best if you watch Evan's wedding online. Seatings cramped with Riley's family could get ugly. No offense, hope you're doing fine." I read it 3 times, each word a stone dropping in my stomach. They didn't say don't come, but they didn't have to. I wasn't included in their image. I'd been planning this wedding for months, selecting the venue, wiring deposits, scheduling vendors, all on 50-hour workweeks. To them I was a glitch, best left streaming from my couch. I didn't weep. I haven't since I discovered that tears don't repair what's damaged. I looked at the invoice, my name stark under payer, and something changed. I wasn't merely the sister who got things done. I was the one they figured would just keep doing it, automatically. Evan, 30, charming, irresponsible, was always the center of attention. His effortless grin caused others to overlook his mishaps. Failed art school, maxed out credit cards, questionable choices I cleaned up after. This wedding was his grand performance, marrying Riley, whose family owns half of Bar Harbor's waterfront. My mother, Clara, and my father, Tom, retired educators in pursuit of status, viewed it as their passport to the elite. I kept the show on, until they figured I didn't belong on the stage. I should have known better. I've been the family safety net since I was a kid. When Evan blew art school in Providence, I took him to community college interviews outside Boston, paid his tuition, tutored him to describe his gap year without coming across as a dropout. When Mom went in for knee surgery, I took 2 weeks off, flew back to be home, played nurse, stocking the fridge, sorting meds, repainting their porch because Dad told me it looked shabby. When Dad's motivational speaking side business tanked, I wired $15,000 from my cafe fund. No strings attached. I didn't ask for thanks, just wanted them okay. Evan posted selfies with Mom and Dad, captioned family forever, racking likes while I scrubbed their floors. This wedding wasn't different. Evan and Riley desired a flawless Maine affair. Cliffside vistas, string lights around a cedarwood pergola, a raw bar featuring fresh oysters. Way more than they could afford, Riley's parents contributed a token sum, benevolent in appearance, not assistance. Mom and Dad were in transition as per usual, so I came through. I discovered the estate, negotiated a price reduction, paid the deposit myself. Nights on the phone with vendors, locking a local band, a florist for Evan's peonies obsession, a shuttle for guests. Evan didn't sweat it, texting, "You're the best, sis," before planning his bachelor party. Mom said, "You're so good at this, Harmony," but it felt like a pat on the head, not gratitude. I kept going. I'm the one who doesn't let things fall apart. But cracks appeared. I wasn't invited to the engagement party, merely requested to give a gift. When I volunteered to assist with the guest list, Evan laughed. "You're not good with people stuff, Harmony. Riley and Mom have this handled." I'd managed $1 million grants, but table assignments, apparently not. I bit my tongue, kept working, kept paying. The florist expressed appreciation for my prompt responses. The band forwarded a playlist draft. I established a planning portal, timelines, contracts, so everyone remained on track. I thought I belonged to it, even beyond the center of attention. I was mistaken. The first actual snub was realizing I wasn't included in the wedding party group chat. A mistake, I believed. Evan's not much of a planner, so I texted him to include me. "Oh, it's pretty much for Riley's group and groomsmen, you're cool, right?" I wasn't, but I nodded at my screen, continued on. Then an email from Tessa, the planner I'd been working with for months, requested a lighting setup adjustment. When I told her I didn't know, she sounded baffled. "I thought you were in charge of production." I'd been, until I wasn't. Evan, Riley, and Mom had stepped in, nobody informed me. I volunteered to coordinate the photo schedule. Mom waved it off. "Dress up, maybe navy. You always look great in navy." Not praise, a brush off. The slap came during Evan's bachelor brunch, a do to which I wasn't invited but attended. Flying in, renting my own hotel room, bringing specialty whiskey glasses Evan had forgotten for the groomsmen. I stood holding the box, anticipating a hello. Instead, I saw them giggle over mimosas. Mom wearing the same scarf as Riley's mom, Evan with that goofy kid grin. Photos appeared that night. Fresh linens toasting beneath a flower arcade. I was in one photo, half concealed behind a server, untagged, caption, "Evan's dream team." I wasn't on the team. I ensured the team had something to play on. Then Maggie, my work aide, sent me an email she shouldn't have read. One from Tessa to Mom, requesting confirmation of the photo lineup. "Make sure Harmony is not in the front row shots. Evan and Riley need a clean family look." No talk, no explanation, just an order. I sat on my couch, gazing at the ceiling, wondering when they'd last asked me how I was doing. Couldn't. I'd been disappearing from their narrative for years. This time they'd erased me completely. Maggie's email altered something. Not anger, anger is boisterous, and I'm not boisterous. It was subtle, slicing humiliation, like being uninvited to a party you organized. I'd invested time, money, heart into this wedding, and they didn't want me in the picture. I didn't argue with them. I had a better plan in the works. I didn't phone Evan or text Mom. I just ceased. I ceased to look at the planning portal, ceased to respond to vendor emails, ceased to pretend I was involved in it. I sat in my cottage, the Atlantic scream shuddering the windows, allowing the heaviness to settle. I wouldn't plead for a place at a table they'd laid out in my absence. The following week I missed Evan's last suit fitting, one I'd booked and paid for. No one messaged to request my whereabouts. I logged into the florist's site, where I'd arranged Evan's off-season peonies, and altered the contact to his email address. "Please forward all questions to the groom." I did the same for the band, the shuttle service, the caterer. Not burning bridges, just delivering them the map and disappearing. I saved screenshots. Each email, payment receipt, vendor thanks for my efficiency. Something made me hold on, though I didn't know why. I took a picture of my kitchen table, set for one, steam rising from the chamomile tea, an empty chair on the opposite side. No caption, only silence. Maggie sent a heart emoji, she understood. I removed the shared calendar invitation to the wedding weekend, the one I'd made to get everyone in line. No one resented it. No one even noticed. The soft light of my laptop was the only illumination in the room, and I had a spark, dangling freedom, not quite, but the beginning of release. The pre-wedding days ran together in a surreal tranquility. I did not call the Bar Harbor Hotel to cancel my reservation. I simply didn't pack. The planning portal had already suspended me, I discovered later. Evan's last vendor payments were due. I didn't remind him. I hadn't phoned the caterer to lock in the raw bar or the band to finish their set list. I'd kept the threads together. Now I was finished weaving. Evenings, I paced the rocky coastline beside my cottage, waves pounding louder than my circling thoughts. I wasn't angry. I was exhausted of being scaffolding for a family that didn't notice me. A few days prior to the rehearsal dinner, Evan had shared a picture from his fitting. Him and Riley in their fitted suits, Mom smiling. The caption thanked all those people making this day special. No word to me. Not unexpected, but it hurt, a dull pain I didn't want to label. I opened my laptop, checked the venue bill. $12,500 outstanding. I closed it, splashed wine, sat on my porch, the lighthouse flashing in the distance. I was done carrying their weight. Maggie noticed the shift at work, sliding coffee across my desk one morning. "You seem lighter," she said. I smiled, unsure if she was right. Not lighter yet, but the space where their expectations sat was emptying. By the wedding weekend I'd decided. I wouldn't watch it online, wouldn't watch it all. I drove 3 hours on Evan's wedding morning to Acadia National Park, where cliffs plunge steeply into the ocean, cell signal disappearing. I brought a thermos of coffee, a dog-eared copy of the shipping news, a blanket. I didn't even glance at my phone. I didn't care. On a rocky outcropping, wind whipping my hair, I allowed the world to seem larger than our family mess. For the first time in months I wasn't planning, paying, fixing, just breathing. In Bar Harbor, the wedding fell apart. Maggie's emails pinged once I regained signal. The florist phoned Evan at morning break. My credit card on file wasn't paying for peonies. I'd pulled it. The band cancelled when their payment bounced. Shuttle vans never materialized, having guests carpool on dusty backroads. The estate remained open, but the $12,500 balance hung unpaid. I imagined the mayhem. Guests flowing, Riley's family muttering, Mom's smile faltering under the pressure. Evan, caught off guard, struggling to repair what I'd done perfectly. My cottage seemed still when I came home, the Atlantic's boom a constant heartbeat. I drank coffee, reading Maggie's messages. Tessa, the organizer, panicked. No one knew the details of the setup I'd coordinated. The raw bar came late, half of the oysters rotten. Guests wrote generic complaints online. Stunning location, pity about the glitches. I did not gloat, but a flame of satisfaction burned for a moment. They'd thought I'd bear the burden forever, unseen, unappreciated. Now their flawless day was unraveling, and I was far away, out of reach. I fired up my laptop, scrolling through screenshots, evidence of every dollar, email, choice I'd made. The $12,500 deposit, with my name on the contract, was my power. I emailed Tessa, calm, professional. "As I'm no longer involved, please contact Evan for the venue balance. My deposit is non-refundable per the agreement." I CC'd the estate owner, ensuring they'd chase Evan, not me. Maggie texted, "You're a genius, Harmony, they're losing it." I leaned back, the ocean's salt air filling my lungs. I wasn't done yet. This was just the start of reclaiming my place. My nonprofit experience taught me accuracy, each step now deliberate, like working with a grant. I reached out to lawyer friend Lila in Bar Harbor, showing her the screenshots, the deposit information, the email Tessa had sent telling me to stay out of pictures. Lila's tone was cutting. "They took advantage of you, Harmony. Let them know it." I wasn't burning their world to the ground. I was exiting it, leaving them to deal with the chaos they had created. The Acadia cliffs persisted in my imagination. Immense, impenetrable. I was constructing something new, and they could not reach it. The tent was the worst. Riley's parents believed it was managed, but it was not. Tessa, the organizer, panicked, but the vendor refused to move without immediate cash. Evan and Riley had overspent on specialty signs and favors, forgetting the fundamentals. Guests arrived to a half-done scene. Folding chairs on uneven grass, no peonies, no music, just a jerry-rigged altar under a cloudy sky. Someone attempted a Bluetooth speaker. It died after one song. Evan's face, Maggie said, was fury and panic. Mom had a meltdown, shouting at Tessa before guests. By noon, people departed, grumbling about bad planning. There wasn't even a live stream. Tessa hadn't paid for it. Evan posted one photo that night. Him and Riley in a field, captioned, "Vows under the stars, just us." A desperate spin. Comments were brutal. Where was the wedding? What happened to the tent? I read Maggie's emails from an Ellsworth diner. A greasy burger before me. I didn't smile, didn't hurt. I'd let go of the rope, and they'd tripped over it. It wasn't revenge. Just what happens when you stop propping up a house that never bore your name on the deed. 3 days after the wedding, I was home in my cottage, a book open in my lap, when the doorbell rang. I saw Mom through the glass in a nipped-in blazer, Dad in khakis, both looking coached. I didn't stir immediately. "Harmony, sweetie, may we come in?" Mom called, voice restrained. I opened the door, remained in the frame. "I've got 10 minutes," I said. They stepped in, surveying my stripped-down living room. An armchair, a driftwood shelf, a picture of me kayaking alone off Acadia. "We're not here to point fingers," Dad began, hands in pockets. "We just want to get things straight." Mom intervened. "It was stressful, Harmony. Evan was overwhelmed, the planner dropped the ball, it wasn't about you." I didn't nod, didn't say anything. Dad sighed. "The way it appeared, it's put Evan and Riley in a bind. Riley's parents are humiliated. If you could mention a work thing, it'd be better. No apology, only damage control." Maggie, bringing in work files, deposited a folder on my counter. Vendor messages, my payments, gave me a nod, slipped away. Mom noticed. "That's your assistant?" she asked, perplexed. I nodded, silence hung thick. That evening, a message from Aunt Nora, owner of a lobster shack in Boothbay and ever my protector. "Don't make this drag on, Harmony. It's complicated enough, let's just get on with it." No how are you, no apology. The pain was more biting than anticipated. If even Nora couldn't bring herself to say it, then what was I clinging to? I didn't respond, didn't author their declaration, didn't go to Evan's after-wedding dinner, a text invitation 4 days late. "We missed you, let's catch up." I was finished with their narrative, in which I was a footnote they had struck through at will. At the office, Maggie cleared my schedule of wedding affiliations. She asked no questions, retitled the folder closed, not forgotten, and stored it away. I smiled, the first smile in weeks. I began amassing fragments of the life I desired. I drove to a Portland antiques fair on a Sunday, aimless, not looking. I discovered a worn oak place card holder, solid space for 2 names. I purchased it, inserted a paper slip. Reserved, not forgotten. It rested upon my kitchen table, opposite the empty chair I had ceased expecting anyone to occupy. Not closure, a start. The following day, at a UPS location on the edge of Bar Harbor, I mailed a padded envelope. Inside, a thumb drive with the address Whitaker wedding expenses, final, and a letter I'd drafted but never sent. "I was always there. You built a life that worked better without me." I paid cash, no return address, walked out. At home, I wiped the family's shared cloud album, unfollowed Evan, muted Mom and Dad. I steeped chamomile, placed it on the table, replaced the last wedding picture. A blurry photo of me in the background behind a waiter, with one in Acadia, wind-blown hair, no filter. The old picture went face down on the shelf. Tessa emailed a day later. "Got the documents, got it. No thanks, no apology, enough." I hadn't asked for their regret, but mine. They'd asked me to stand back and watch the wedding. I did, and their tale fell apart, not because I dismantled it, but because I let go of holding it together. Maggie's reports kept flowing. Riley's parents withdrew, mortified by the debacle. Evan's good looks couldn't redeem his reputation. Townspeople muttered about his poorly organized wedding. Mom and Dad withdrew, their social network dwindling. No longer Bar Harbor's golden couple. I didn't revel. A quiet pain remained for the family I'd longed for, the one where I belonged. But I was creating something new. My non-profit initiatives flourished. I headed up a grant-winning sustainable fishing equipment for neighborhood boats, my name on the grant. Weekends I paddled Acadia's coves, salt spray on my cheeks, envisioning my cafe. Lobster rolls, warm lights, a place for tales. I saved once more, my $15,000 loss a lesson, not a chain. One night, at a Bar Harbor town gathering, a fisherman thanked me for the grant. "Your work keeps us afloat, Harmony." His words stung deeper than Mom's pats ever had. I got involved with a local business organization, presenting my cafe proposal. A mentor agreed to critique my plan. My cottage was home. Driftwood shelves, 1 chair, my territory. The $12,500 venue deposit. The owner of the estate pursued Evan. He'd signed the final agreement, my leverage still strong. Lila, my lawyer pal, assured, "Your screenshots are gold, they can't avoid this." Their world unraveled. Mine expanded. I trekked Acadia's cliffs, Maggie's words echoing in my head. "You're lighter now." She was on the money. I wasn't carrying their baggage anymore. The moral is, don't let people erase you from their narrative. Create your own where you're the center. Thanks for watching Revenza Tales, where tales of grit and victory come to life. Smash that like button, post your comeback stories, and subscribe for more epic stories. Share this to friends in need of courage, and I'll see you at the harbor.